Oh, hey, Brandon, what are you doing here?
We made chicken tacos.
Isn't that cultural appropriation?
Shit. Is it cultural appropriation being your mama? Shit.
Oh, goodness, we're recording. Oh my.
So,
are you living your best Japan life?
Not even close.
Oh, shit, really?
Nah.
Why not?
But I figured out the reason why. I don't like to blame stuff, but
is it me?
It's English teaching.
Oh, shit.
Like, one day I really was just sitting there, I was like, you know what, like, nothing's ever gonna be 100% good, but like,
yeah,
if the job just wasn't English teaching, I think I would be,
yeah,
I would feel so much better.
Yeah, I've thought the exact same thing.
Even if I had another crappy ass job, I'm not even looking for a good job, like, another shitty ass job, I'd be like, I think I'll be having a better time.
Yeah, which it's like, as a country, how do you not feel a little shame?
With what?
How awful the English system, like the teaching system is.
I don't know,
like,
man.
The only people who seem to like it are fat white girls from America, where they're like, finally I can just blah, 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 blah. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, they're not even really teaching. They're just like, oh, good, 6 kids I can talk at for 50 minutes.
Yeah, I think the people I find that like teaching most are just people that like to talk themselves. And even if you go like, all right, let me try to really do this and teach, the student, you're like, you don't care. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, that's always my favorite thing that you say is like, what are we doing?
What are we doing here, man? If I really seriously try to correct you, you get defensive.
Have you ever had a student that's like, it doesn't matter, and you're like, yeah, that's true, but like, someone might be watching, so I gotta say it does matter.
Or if a student really does care, they'll ask me some questions that's beyond me. I'm like, I'm not really the fucking teacher. Like, I just know how to speak English. I don't know how to teach English.
Some grammar stuff trips me up where I'm like, listen, I'm from Indiana. We barely speak English there.
I'm like, just watch a bunch of English subtitle movies. Damn it. Brandon, are you getting rid of our customers again? But here's the thing, shit. Though.
Can we open up a watch English movie school? Give us $30 a month. Your child can watch Disney movies with us, and then you can pick them up before dinner.
I will say, I better run the block. The one Eikaiwa I've been to, it was run by a Japanese guy and his wife.
Is this the Nara job?
Not Kyoto.
Ooh.
And so it'll be like mainly, only adults. And so the teaching style was one, people come in and they were like, all right, tell us a story about you.
Okay. And
the people would tell a story. And it was like, all right, now repeat the story. So lots of paraphrasing and listening. And like, I was just there, but like, so it was actually like one of the easiest jobs I ever had.
Really?
And it was actually like, I wouldn't say like good, but I was like, this is actually more helpful than a lot of other shit, because they're like, oh, you gotta listen and you gotta paraphrase.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So why'd you give that one up?
Because that's when I went to America for a vacation.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get a nice Eikaiwa job and get that full Eikaiwa money and everything's gonna be okay.
Was everything okay?
Everything was not okay.
Oh, shit.
So I had some problems with there, got the fuck out of there.
Oh, you had problems with them?
Actually, the kids were okay, but the managers were awful. Of course, some white bitch from Texas that was fucking out of her goddamn mind. And this is also a good thing about your Eikaiwa. You only have one foreign girl to worry about.
But it's a big worry.
And she's not even the boss. Like, imagine A-Train, but now she's a fat white bitch. That would just think about it. That would piss you off way more.
they made they made an American the manager of a Japanese school.
Dude, that's like all. I'm telling you, that's all the other Eikai was. That's only.
Really?
Yeah, only yours is Japanese, like, mainly. I mean, they're all Japanese owned, but the rest are run by foreigners.
They entrust us with that much power.
They don't have any power.
Oh,
Their power is just fuck with your other people.
well,
It's middle management shit.
okay.
Maybe even lower than middle management. But it's like, oh well, fuck with these other your own people.
Yeah.
But do I have any power? No. Do I get any raises?
So it's just to make other workers miserable?
Yes.
And this is something I can't really comprehend. Like, if you had happier teachers, they would perform better. But none of these schools seem to understand that.
And more, they're cutting pay back, but
Yeah.
asking for the same amount of work.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, do not leave your gig.
Mine's kind of doing the opposite. Mine's like, same pay, but we want you to do more just all the time. Like, every month, they're like, just, here's some more shit you gotta do. It's like, what?
I'd rather do that than...
Yeah, I guess that's better.
Dude. Like, I know you have your problems with it, but trust me, man.
It's so fucked up that when there's no Japanese people around, I'm such a better teacher. No parents, no manager, no other teachers. I'm like, all right, fine. We can actually, like, learn now.
Yeah, because it's just the pressure, not the eyes.
Yeah.
And there's something annoying for the other Eikaiwas. How should I say it? It's annoying being completely 7,000 miles away from home. And you have just like some fat white bitch or fat white loser guy that you know he's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
But he's still your boss. You're like, did I travel 7,000 miles for this horse shit?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Like, as much as you hate A-Train, at least she's Japanese, and she can back off sometimes.
Yeah.
But me, it's like...
Oh, so if they're foreign, they're always on. They're always like, I gotta fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay.
And it's like, so actually my September, October, November, December, I'm actually looking for a new job. You know me. I'm trying to go back to ALT in April.
If only you were Indian. It'd be so much easier.
What do you mean?
Indian or
you
Filipino.
You mean Indian. I thought you meant like, I don't know, I thought Native American.
That
I was
would
like,
be
what?
neat. Brandon, are you wearing a headdress and feathers? Are those moccasins? I am running gyoza.
Running gyoza.
It's okay, folks. I got a little Indian in me. Which I love when you talk about...
Japan has 4 seasons.
That's both a joke and not a joke. But I love when people talk about I have Indian in me. It's like, which one? There's like so many different. I don't know the ones that were running around.
Then even when you go Indian, what's your caste system? Because apparently they treat each other like shit.
Which is funny when you see things in America like, oh, they're so bad, and then you're like, India looks real fucked up all the time.
They're all Indian. That's the great. My friend, Australian guy, he was telling me like,
yeah,
he has some Indian Ford students. And the Indians would make fun of another Indian, like, oh, he's from here. but then he was like, but I'm looking at you guys like, you're all stinky-ass Indians to me.
Oh, wow.
But that's what he said.
That's okay.
But that's the thing. It's like, why are you making fun of your own person? He doesn't see you. He sees you as all the same shit.
Yeah. But is that like Florida? Like we make fun of Florida?
Not in a caste system way.
Not like
Indians do.
You mean like they're like really like looking down on them?
Yeah.
That is interesting, especially in a different country, because it's like you don't even live in a caste system anymore. How does that translate?
They still live in the caste system, baby. Just because it's officially gone, don't mean it's gone.
Intercontinental caste system. Huh. Maybe that's okay. Well. Yeah. Anywho, what were we talking about? The Japan life. So you're not enjoying it?
No, I'm enjoying it. I just
it literally is just the English
It
work
is.
that ruins Japan, I would say.
It's like America got their hands in there somewhere and was like, let's do what we do best and just make it awful. Like I was like also like I'm thinking like what I was saying like between the AOT and the Eikaiwa.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to AOT because I was thinking like, you know what, like the pay's less, but at least you can downgrade your life and enjoy all the days off, going around, studying.
Yeah.
Eikaiwa, it's like work, go home, work, go home.
There's definitely less pressure at the ALT positions. Because even the teachers will be like, what the fuck are you even doing here? Go home. But at the Eikaiwas, they're like, you're scheduled off at 9. Why don't you just fucking do some shit?
You gotta do something. I got no classes, man. You gotta do something.
Yeah.
AOT, it's like, okay, you can just... Oh, you're sitting there watching your videos? Yeah, okay, thank you.
I would just walk around the school.
Yeah, that's me. But, like, sometimes you can get with some shitty... The main reason that I went from Eikaiwa to... I mean, AOT
to the Eikaiwa.
is because it can be difficult with AOT because everything's never guaranteed.
The companies?
Some you can get some. The top ones are good, but there's a lot of dispatch companies, and they can be shitty, like absolute garbage. Like they will take half your check and not give you a cent for summer pay.
Oh,
and you're like, I know you're getting money.
Yeah.
Can I get enough for rent? And they're like, no. But you'll be back September, right? You're like, fuck you. Like.
Yeah.
That's only the worst kind of dispatch.
I at least got half pay in summer, like, which sucks because you're traveling in summer, like, but I'm not making this money back.
Or like one dispatch, they gave you half pay in summer, but periodically during your pay, they'll say, "Oh, we're having problems with the pay," and you're like, "Wait a minute, you get paid by the government."
Yeah, so how's that even possible?
There's no problems. They're like, oh, the banking system and this and the holidays. Like, you're bullshitting. Then you Google it, and that's their go-to excuse.
Oh, okay.
And one day I got so pissed, I was calling up the manager. Yeah. The actual owner's like, where's my fucking money?
Really?
He's like, I could give you half. I'm like, where's my fucking money?
Right, yeah.
And he was like, well, I gotta get a loan out. I'm like,
a loan?
You gotta get a loan? You get my money is from the government. What kind of shady shit are you doing with my fucking money?
That's so fucking funny.
And this is a 3-time thing.
With one company?
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like, you get my money from the government. You do not need to ask for a loan to give me what the fuck are you spending my money on?
And here's the funny fucking thing, is that the BOE only works with Japanese companies. They're never going to work with us directly. But it's like...
You had to get lucky.
Oh, goodness.
I thought you were going to go to the extent of the BOE. They know all the complaints about dispatch companies.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't care because with a dispatch company, you get the foreigner and you can get rid of them. If you direct hire, you're stuck with them.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know what? We know they're taking half your check. We know they're being bullshit, but hey, we don't have to deal with you.
I think we talked about this once too, where it's like, there really is no dealing with us, though. I don't know any foreigners that really cause problems, except for maybe, I don't know, random people.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you just hired us directly, and then we wouldn't even need to have meetings. Just email us, hey, is everything okay? Yeah, alright, talk to you in another 6 months.
Right.
Like, just...
That's what the dispatch company's done. They're like, alright, we're going to take half your money. I'm like, you barely even talk to me. I'm like, you're getting half?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the visa, like, okay, half? Constantly? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. But, with all that, if you get out of school, man, 3 classes, 4 tops, you can really chill.
Oh, at a school, yeah, that is nice.
I wish, like, when I was at AOT, I focused more on studying.
Yeah.
Because I had a shit ton of time.
Right, yeah.
Now I want to study
you didn't
more.
Do that? I had so many things on my desk, I was like, time to translate this word.
Dude, I didn't, like, for some reason, I didn't do it. Also, I didn't have the right study. Before that, I didn't have the right study method.
Okay.
Like, I was still on other shit when all you have to do is just fucking read.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me, you know, on YouTube, all you gotta do is do this. Hey, can you speak Japanese? Not at all, but I'm gonna make a YouTube video telling you how to study and learn. Like,
or the other one where it's like, for some reason, there's a lot of just ugly Japanese women with YouTube videos who are like, you shouldn't speak like Naruto. And I'm like, I wasn't speaking like him.
Do you want Kanto Ben? Do you want Kanzai Ben? I just want to know how to listen and speak. Can we? I think we're jumping the fucking gun here. Can I just know every god? Not everywhere, but can I be at least decent? I'll worry about fucking Ben later.
Can you picture that in English though? In Texas they say howdy, but in New York they'll say like hey, and in Wyoming they'll say like oh hey, how's it going? do you understand this? It's like yeah, it's not too hard.
But I get it. But like, if you're really just trying to get the basics, you're like, I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah,
we need to focus on this other shit.
Yeah.
I can come to that for funsies later. Like,
or that's the kind of stuff, if you know the basics, you can pick up on your own.
Yeah. Like how British people, a British actor could come and be a tech, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know he was fucking British.
Oh, yeah, or like, what is it, Walking Dead?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The guy's Australian, and you're like, just stick with your American accent.
But that's the thing, like, I didn't know, so I kind of wasted all that free time. And now I know, and I want to study, and now I'm stuck in the Eikawa doing 8 classes every day. Do you do 8 classes every day?
Nah. I think it was for the first 2 years.
Only on the weekends now.
It averaged out to 8. And then somehow they got less, I don't know.
Well, what's your lowest class day?
This year was 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. But one year was like 2. On Fridays, I had like 2 classes.
Oh my god! What's your mid? Like 7, 6,
6 or 7. And then and Saturdays used to be 9, and it's like that's awful. 9. Okay, 4 45-minute classes with kids who don't even like English, and one kid who is good at English but is just a weird fucking boy, and you're like, can you just fucking stop? Then lunch, which isn't even the full lunch basically, and then 5 more classes. So not even half the day is over by lunchtime. You have another half.
That's on the weekends?
Saturdays. Yeah, it's terrible. And that's another thing with people in America. I didn't get my 15-minute break. We don't get any breaks. Sometimes, like one day, I didn't get lunch until like 8 p.m. I'm like, I'm getting lunch. And she's like, it's 8 p.m. I'm like, I didn't get lunch. It's like, I guess you can go get lunch now. Like,
no one works more harder than a foreigner in Eikaiwa. I'll debate any Japanese person that comes with me saying they work harder than me. Or us. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I even had an old Japanese guy who's like, so how many classes you do? I was like, 8. He's like, every day? He's like, oh. This is like a 70-year-old Japanese guy. He's like, god damn, that's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, it is.
This is probably my hardest job I've ever done. And I've done 14-hour construction days.
Oh shit.
From sun up to sundown.
Oh wow.
And I'm still like, this is the worst shit.
You know what's the most fucked up thing about that is that the Eikaiwas don't even see that. You're like, this is 1, the most I've ever worked. 2, the worst like conditions I've ever worked. I've never had
you get a 10-second break. They're back in there, faggot.
I've never had in America, like a manager or a company that seemed to want me to fail at my job. But every day I'm like, do they even want me to like teach?
Not even.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
And it's just,
you're working me for what?
And then anytime they always seem like they're doing you a favor, and it's like, I don't even want to work here.
And it's the visa. If we can, if there could be one other gig besides English,
like I told you, I would happily put flyers in mailboxes for 8 hours a day.
All we need is like if someone just say even warehouse work, like all right, just like an Amazon warehouse. It would suck, but like it would put pressure on the English side, so they go, oh shit, we have to be better because they have another option. Yeah, they know we don't have another option unless you have Japanese in a skill. And who has Japanese in a skill?
Yeah.
I know some people have Japanese, no skill. I know skill, no Japanese.
Jeremy.
You need both, which is, whew. Yeah. That's fucking tough.
Did I ever tell you the time, I guess, maybe not, at least not on here, when I went to the Osaka fucking, I don't know what it is, government visa building?
Yeah.
This was before I had a job or anything. Like, I just went there by myself, and I was like, how do I, like, get in? How do I do, whatever? And the guy's like, your job is you're gonna sponsor? I'm like, no, I don't have a job. He's like, you don't have a job? I'm like, yeah. How would I, like, I don't know. Is there like a system where I can kind of get into Japan? It's like, you need a job for that. It's like, why is there nothing?
Like, come on, man. Like, I know this.
Even when you ask authority figures, you're like, they don't have an answer. Where it's like, I guess you got to get a job overseas, which I think most people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
We're the rarity where it's like we just showed up.
I interviewed overseas for one company and didn't get it, so I was like, I'm just gonna come and fuck it.
Yeah.
Barely made it. I was on the last visa. I was like, oh shit, I barely made this.
And you always hear, like, if you're in Japan, you gotta, like, leave the country and then you come back with a new visa. My company must have done something.
I didn't do that. That might be some old shit. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going on because I don't hear that shit no more.
Maybe they just lied. Maybe they mailed my passport to Korea and had to have like a person over there mail it back. I don't know.
Just to fuck with the person.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Other than work, we always bitch and complain about work.
But it's so easy. Yeah, that's why, like, it takes up so much. I don't want to, man.
You know what's even weirder is when you work at night, like at a eikaiwa, your entire day is gone.
It is.
If you work at a school, you're off at 3:20.
You can go home, if you even take a nap, and still get the rest of the day.
But there has been a few times where I got home at like 4 o'clock, just slept.
Yeah, wake up. I'm not a.
Could not wake up.
My biggest thing is I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest struggle. But I'm like, now I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't care. I'm tired of the eikaiwa. I'll figure it out.
I'm surprised you haven't, like, you do all this researching. Like, I'm surprised you haven't found something.
The things I find, like we said, it's like, oh, my Japanese is like mid, but you have to be in the company, full Japanese environment. I can study. Are you fluent or not? Oh, come on, man.
There was one thing I saw.
Gotta be fluent or not. That's the only way.
Yeah, there was one thing I saw that was like you can work at a hostel, but it's like a night shift, and I was like, it's awfully tempting compared to eikaiwa work. But I was like, that sounds kind of sketchy. Actually, I think there's a hostel like the building next to me.
Oh shit!
I don't know why I haven't gone there. I'm like,
what's going on in here?
I'm English hostel.
Yeah, I've seen things out there, but this has pissed me off, and this is why I want to get away from Eikaiwa.
Yeah.
Go on LT and study more is because I've been in 3 situations where I've been like, damn, if my Japanese was higher, I could be out. But it wasn't out. I was like, fuck. Like, one was like, met some rich ass construction people with Yuki, and I was like, oh shit, like, this is my chance. Not English wasn't high. Not English. Japanese wasn't high enough.
To do construction work?
No, I mean, like, they actually own, like, the company, so, like, doing like, office work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Even when I was working at Kabakura, like, my Japanese still wasn't good enough to, like, network enough and shit.
Okay.
And, like, some online companies, it's like, fuck, man. Like, I see shit even in America where it's like, hey, we'll start you off $80,000 a year. Are you fluent in Japanese? And it's like, someone said, where is fluent? What do you mean by fluent? I don't know.
Do you know Kansai Ben? Or better yet, do you know, what is it, Aomori? Where it's like even Japanese people can't understand them. That's where the Ainu live.
I don't know. I guess when you can argue, and I can't argue yet, or fully express myself in Japanese, so I guess I don't have I'm fluent. And like, if I could, like, I want to be able to tell someone off in that's how annoying Japanese people can be. Like, I'm like, I want to tell this motherfucker off in fluent Japanese.
And you know what's fucked up about that? Is if you can't tell them off 100% accurately, you just look stupid.
You have to be 100%.
If someone's in America and they flub a little, like, fuck you,
yeah,
like, no one's gonna be like, hey, he didn't say it 100% correct.
Yeah.
But if you don't say, like, even anything, almost, you just look so ridiculous. Like, is it day or knee? Because one time I was talking to a parent, and I said, like, please wait in this room in Japanese, because he didn't know any English.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, shit, was it day or was it knee? And I'm like, he must think I'm an idiot. And then it's like, he probably didn't give a shit at all. But that's how you feel here.
Shit. Or sometimes people like, I'll talk to a Japanese person, like, you know, sometimes I get these two kanji confused. And it'll be a kanji where it's like, the only difference is a line.
Oh, okay.
Like, I could give you an example.
I can give you an example right now. Zo or Zo. Zo means elephant. Zo means statue. They are the same kanji, but one has a little line next to it.
I don't know those ones.
Oh, look them up.
Okay, so there's the kanji for young or a child, and then there's the kanji for a vision.
Oh, okay.
The difference is one line. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
But if you ask a Japanese person, they're like, you don't know the difference? I'm like, it's one line.
Yeah.
And even you know what I'm talking about. They're like, man. Like, what the fuck?
Or like, what is it? Motsu or Matsu?
Yeah. It's like, shit.
Like, oh, be careful, because one is weight and one is hold. Like, but yeah.
The pressure can be on you to speak fluent, or you will be.
And this is something
I got something to add, but go ahead.
For Japanese people, if you're listening, if I say moichido onegai shimasu, don't speak more mumbly, more quiet, and quicker than the first time. I'm not gonna fucking understand it more. And at my first job, when we had training before we started working, and they're like, now Japanese is a closed mouth language, and I'm like, that's a thing? And then ever since I heard that, I'm like, holy shit, they don't open their mouths when they talk.
Not really.
And then you're like, well, that makes sense why I can't fucking hear you.
Hey, what's your name? One more time. Nigga doesn't know Japanese.
And he called me a racial slur.
I remember I was at the Go-Con, all Japanese people. We all introduced ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, bitch, you need to say your name again, and you say your name again, and the Japanese guys was like, thank you, because we didn't fucking. They're like, we don't know their fucking names.
Oh, and here's the thing.
This was an introduction. I was like, what's your name? Say it slowly. And then the Japanese guys were like, thanks.
That is. I don't even ask people their names anymore. I'm like, I'm never gonna remember it, and I'm never gonna see you again. So fuck it.
And sometimes they're so socially inept. Like, what's your name? This. I'm supposed to say, what's my name now? That was the pause. That's a real pause. You sit there like, is this person not going to ask me my name? Like,
he was also being very generous with that pause. It would be much longer where you're like, sometimes I've been like, all right, just go back to my beer. And that's not even us being men talking to girls. That's other men. You're like, you're supposed to be able to talk by now. 28 years old.
Do you not know basic human interaction? Hey, so what's your job? I do this. Like, dude, this is like the common shit everyone asks.
And this also isn't us speaking English. This is us speaking correct Japanese.
Yeah. Like, I know sometimes they're like, in English, and I'm not in English. In America, like, don't brag about your stuff or what you do. I'm like, I'm not bragging. They don't fucking ask you.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of thing that they just assume that you don't know anything or do anything. So I have to go, I know Japanese. Oh, I experienced a cabocola before. I'm not trying to show off, but all you think I've done was nothing. So it's like...
So how's your Japanese life? Is it going pretty good?
What do you mean by Japanese life?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
It could... I know where I'm lacking, and that's what I want to fix. I know where it's lacking.
Yeah.
Almost everything. But I want to fix it. Because I know, as we do bitch, there's... Some days I just look around like, God, I could really be enjoying myself.
I know. Yeah.
Like, I'm not capitalizing.
Yeah.
Like, you wake up every day, you go to work, but sometimes you just look and you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm in Japan.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up, isn't it?
And, alright, I don't give Japan much compliments, but sometimes you be like, there's a lot of things I can see, or do, or visit, or travel, and I'm like, son of a bitch, like.
Yeah, you feel like you're wasting your time.
It's like, it's like, god damn, man. Because these English jobs are so goddamn demanding. So goddamn demanding.
Yeah. But you know what's I think I've said this like 10 times in this episode, but you know what's fucked up about that?
What?
I get these big chunks off, and I'm like, well, I gotta make the best of these 9 days. And I told you I went out every day. I'm like, Japanese people don't know how to just talk. Like, and
they weren't on vacation time. Only you were on vacation, baby. Only you.
But every day, I can't find one person who knows how to speak.
Oh, no, man.
And I don't know. It's just like, how do you get better at a language? How do you get better at a language where the main people who speak it don't want to speak it with you?
Or you'll get the other person that wants to get their English lesson, and you're like, hey, buddy, I paid for this expensive ticket over here.
Yeah, did you
go to America if you want to speak this English shit.
Yeah.
Or they're English otaku, and you're like, oh, God. So this is how you guys feel like when American otakus come over.
Oh, yeah. You meet some people who just like Disney movies or Marvel movies, and you're like, what else you got going on with your life?
Well, here's another one. They're fully in their Japanese culture, but when it comes to you, the game changes. So if you say what kind of music you like, they're like Justin Bieber and this, and you're like, but then if you keep digging deeper, they're like, oh, I know this Japanese artist, this Japanese. Oh, this is an old Japanese artist. Like, tell me that. Oh, you don't care. Like, I do care.
That's why I'm asking.
Tell me that. That's what I don't give a fuck if you like Marvel.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, everyone likes Marvel. Shit.
Those movies make billions of dollars worldwide. You're not unique.
Yeah.
I like Harry Potter, Marvel, and Disney. That's like the three most common properties in the world.
It's like saying you like pizza, pepperoni pizza. We are like, what do you like?
Yeah, and I think it might have to do with questions. I think Japanese people don't like questions. And we talked about this a little bit, where it's like you almost have to just make statements at people.
Oh, this is true.
So, but that's an annoying cultural thing where it's like, why couldn't you just tell me this at the airport 5 years ago? Just have one guy who speaks English go, listen, we don't like questions. And you go, oh, really? And then he's like, did you just ask me really? I just told you we don't like questions. You fucking asshole. You culturally fucking piss on my fucking country.
Did you not just hear what the fuck I said?
Well, but that's the thing with us. Oh, and this is something I've been wanting to say. The reason in all our episodes where we're like, we think this might be the case, or we don't really know. Like most YouTube channels that offer information say this, and this. But our channel is just like, maybe this, maybe that, is because we don't get the answers. Like when you say, like, okay, I was telling you, but those two girls at the bar, the $7 entry bar.
Yeah.
Which I quit going to because I'm like, they're not offering me even a conversation. Like, what bartender can't really talk to the patrons? That's fucked up. But I was just thinking, if I ever go back, I shouldn't ask any more questions because I don't even get a real response.
Yeah.
Where I was like, well, what do you do? And like, oh, well, we went to Guam. And I'm like, oh, the two of you went to Guam? And they're like, us two and two guys. And I'm like, oh, well, what'd you get into? And they're like, oh, we just walked around.
Yeah, bullshit.
I'm like, well, what else did you? They're like, we didn't really do anything. Just walked around and ate food. I'm like, that's not a story. So,
I can add to that. When I was working at the Cabocora,
yeah,
and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, are these girls prostituting themselves? But when I asked, no one told me. But then my Kim was like, man, look at this girl. You know, she's gonna go fuck that guy. Then they're like, yeah, I know, they're gonna go fuck. I was like,
yeah.
So I have to just you have to act like you know to know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, sometimes you don't know, so how am I gonna get the information if I don't know it? You just have to have a hint, like, maybe this is what's going on.
And that's the thing where you're like...
And then on the other side, it's so much the lie, like, Japanese, this Japanese so good. And so then you're like, people walk around, they see women outside, Kabakuras is so common, and one thinks everyone thinks that every guy that goes in there is not getting sex.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That will never fly in America. If you were in America, you saw, like, the Kabakura setup, you'd be like, that bitch is offering sex. Who the fuck are we fooling?
Or you see a guy going, you're like, this fucking sleazy bastard.
Yeah, but Japan's like, they're not having sex. No, they're just getting money for talking.
And buying champagne.
Yeah. Or you're like, pachinko. There's still some people that think that you do not get money from playing pachinko.
Japanese people?
No, American.
Oh. Yeah, you go next door.
Yeah, there was a recent girl in my train squad. She's like, it's just pachinko, but they just do it with prizes. I'm like, no,
yeah.
Do you think this many people are wasting money?
Do you think this 60-year-old woman with no teeth wants a little bear?
They get money. But in America, you would never even think that dumb shit. You'd be like, no, they're getting fucking money.
Yeah.
But Japan has that thing where people go, oh no. No, Japanese girls don't like to be touched. No. They don't like to be touched by a creep. This is... They'll let some other the guy that like them touch the shit out of them.
Yeah, which there's a lot of perverted old men here.
Oh shit, man! In my gym, because you know it's connected to the
Manga cafe. Or the net cafe.
For some reason, every time I go in the open booths, there's always an old guy just casually looking at porn. I'm like, get a private booth.
Oh, you mean it's out in the open?
Yeah, it's just like in the open booth. I'm like, there's private booths, you know. I mean, I don't say that to him, but it's like, no, it's just like casually looking at porn. There was one guy watching a regular movie and watching porn. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Multitasking.
There was one guy just looking at pictures. I'm like, oh, you're a picture guy. I can't even get off the pictures anymore, man. Like,
you know what's even more fucked up about that? You have a phone. Why are you paying money to look at porn in public?
I want them to know.
Yeah.
I want them to know. It's always old guys for some reason too. Like,
maybe they don't know how to work an iPhone. Shiri porno onegaishimasu.
I'm always looking like, you guys, that's not a good site, man. I can help you out. Come on, man. Let me show you this Pornhub real quick.
Yeah. Oh, this took so many twists and turns. Anywho, is there anything you're doing now to kind of get on track, I would say?
So actually, yeah, I'm putting for job wise, I'm trying to get back in ALT, and I've made the thing like I'm willing to take a pay cut because of that will give me more time to study. Well, when I say study, I mean read or watch.
Yeah.
So people understand, like, not a grammar book, just reading and watching shit.
Yeah. And the bonus to that is the kids really don't want to speak English with you, except for a few kids. But then you're like, I can just speak Japanese with them.
Works so good.
And like society-wise, kids don't know they're not supposed to talk to foreigners like adults here do.
Yeah.
So they'll just blah 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 blah, and you're like, oh,
man, you
really?
can get a lot of shit.
But then the older they get, the more like, oh, I can't say anything.
That social programming kicks in.
Yeah. Which the fucking funniest thing about that was when it was a high school girl, and the lesson was like, what rumors are spreading around? And she's like, I don't think there's any rumors. I'm like, you're a high school girl. There is rumors. And she's like, nah, I can't think of anything. I'm like, surely there's some rumors going around. She's like, no, I don't think our school does that. Oh, okay.
All right.
And that's another thing with talking to Japanese people. At some point, you just go, all right, never mind. I'm not going to ask you more questions.
Right. But I have found, though, that, like, if you want adult conversation, you do have to go in a seedy area.
Yeah, well.
So, like...
But it's going to cost more money.
If you think that you're going to just get a normal-looking Japanese person to talk to you, the ones that will talk to you most will be... I don't want to judge people. I'm not saying, like, that's my people. I'm like, but the dreads.
Oh.
I would almost say, like, if you compare Japanese, if you say, because all Japanese people are not alike.
But they think they are.
When it comes down to us. But when it's not us, they know their place. If that makes sense. Like, like, you know your place.
Yeah.
But when you talk to me, you're going to act like it's us.
Yeah.
But you know that you don't fit in here.
Yeah.
That's also pissed me off. But you need to get the people that know, like, I ain't doing that shit. Almost like... I was going somewhere with this. So, all Japanese people are not the same.
Yeah.
You have the uppity, you have the rich, you have the normal, you have the nigger Japanese.
Whoa.
And you have the redneck white trash Japanese.
Excuse me? Did you just call me white trash?
No! But the ones that will talk to you most will be the niggas in white trash.
Yeah.
The ones in the middle, they're trying. The ones in the middle, they're trying to be that.
But I think there's another part of them that is just blank, where they're like, my entire life is just working 60 hours a week, and then I go home to a family I don't love, and
You're talking about the ones in the middle?
Yeah.
And
they're like, I don't feel any need to explain my culture to you, so.
Yeah.
And but that's another thing where it's like, if you're just honest, like, I'll be okay, fine. You're just unhappy.
And that's the thing. The ones in the middle, they're so stuck in the system.
Yeah.
They're like Japanese, or they look at, I want to be that. But the ones at the bottom, they're like, fuck that shit too.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk.
And
but for the ones at the bottom, once again, your Japanese has to be on points.
and here's something weird that I never thought I would say. I really like hearing honesty from Japanese people. And sometimes it slips out and you go, I'm so proud of you.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
And then you're like, maybe I'll keep talking to them. It's like, oh no, they just kick back into Japanese mode.
It's just one little slip, like, yeah, fuck that shit.
And then like write it down on my phone. Got to tell Brandon. Like, I think I was telling you last week there were like 3 suicides on the one train line.
Shit.
And we were like at work, and then someone was like, oh, yeah, something, and then they're like, yeah, usually the suicides happen in spring. And we're like, oh, and they're like,
which is also weird. Why would the suicides be more in spring?
Because that's when like the new school year, the new work year starts.
And people are like, damn, my life still sucks.
Yeah. But you can change that by talking to me. I'm a nice guy. I'll listen to your problems. And you can help me out. I don't know.
So what's your plan? You asked me what's my plan to make Japan better for myself. What's your plan?
I think I figured this out this month. Where I was like... Well, we were talking about... Sometimes when you talk about girls and you're like, ugh, you gotta go, well, this particular person isn't special. For whatever reason, I just got attached or something.
Right.
So when it doesn't go good, you're like, well, whatever.
Right.
That's kind of what you got to do with Japan, where you're just like, this country isn't special, and sometimes you just go, the only way to make my life enjoyable is for me to just do whatever makes me happy.
Right, that makes sense, yeah.
Instead of going, well, I wanted to hang out with this Japanese person, but they said isogashi. And they say isogashi every time I want to hang out. So why are they doing this? You just got to go, fuck it. I don't need that.
All right. Of course, it's still wrapped up in that pussy.
This is for men.
Oh.
That's another. I just don't understand this. Like, you're an adult male. How do you not know how to, like, just be cool? But I don't know. And it also might be an Osaka thing. Because when I worked in Kawagoya, there were a lot more nicer people.
But Chris, people in Osaka are so friendly. They're so friendly and open.
Tokyo equates being able to talk with being friendly. Because in Tokyo, you're just not going to talk to anyone. But at least Osaka people, I guess, are rude. Like, they're at least like, I can just be an asshole, so that equals friendly because I'm saying words. I don't know.
That's like how is
that a stereotype for Osaka?
It's not. It's like, I'm like,
these are some of the rudest people I've ever met in my life.
Rudest. Like, I really haven't.
It's so fucked up. Where you're like, who is spreading this rumor?
Osaka's so funny and crazy. Like, no.
Is that people from Tokyo like? Well, Manza is from Osaka, and I laugh
at him. Like dumb. Even my one Japanese friend, he's like, yeah, I don't like that shit. Because he's from Osaka and he lives in Tokyo. He's like, yeah. Sometimes I meet people like, oh, you're Osaka funny. He's like, no, I'm not fucking. Not what the fuck. Like,
when have I ever made you laugh?
Right? Like, yeah, like know me for me. Don't because I'm some. And that's so that shows that they even do their stereotype shit for themselves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so this is like, let's get out the stereotypes for one damn minute and just listen to me talk.